going on? It's the Big Rig Bull, Texas truck accident lawyer Reshard Alexander here on a Saturday. Today we're going to talk about load securement as it relates to intrastate trucking. So we're going to talk about load securement for Texas trucking. Other than that, I got to go back upstairs like 4 or 5 times today and move all my books down here to the first floor. I got some sushi. I'm about to eat that, and nothing else really today. It's a Saturday. Usually I like to hang out with my kids, my wife, but you know, I couldn't do that this weekend. I had to come in here and make this stuff happen with as far as this office. The main thing that I have to do now this weekend is I gotta bring all those books down, and then I have to go ahead and get all that stuff sorted so I can like I said, get back to the grind. You know, I'm really kind of surprised by the number of, you know, women that they're putting in the news. I don't know if it's just happening that way, or it seems like the news is just trying to go out of its way to identify certain types of women as like bad parents or bad mothers or bad people. And it's really weird because I'm asking myself, like, all mothers aren't bad like that. Where are the stories about the good mothers? I mean, I know the news is built on sensationalism, but I mean, it gets to a point where it's like, okay, man, it's hot outside. People are already bothered. I'm tired of hearing bad stuff all the time. Y'all can't come up with no stories about some uplifting things, some uplifting stories about some moms that's making it, families that's making it. I mean, don't get me wrong. They do it every now and then, but lately they just seem like they've been on this tear. But all I do is talk about people who ain't doing stuff with their life, or they doing negative stuff. I don't understand it. But some things ain't meant to be understood. You know, I'll be honest, I'm always kind of amazed when I come up here to work after hours and it's like nobody else here. I mean, I know that I'm not the only one who has stuff to get done. It's just really weird though that nobody else is up here hardly ever. Well, I'm not gonna say hardly ever, but like today, for the most part, there's really been no one in the building. Maybe they're just that efficient when it comes to getting work done. I don't know. That third floor they're building, they're still building that third floor out. So that's probably gonna turn out really well for them, because I think they're gonna put another work style up there. But like I said, it's so big. That third floor is so big that they'll probably have like a portion of it set as a work style. The rest of them will be private offices. So I wanted to stay in the work style because they kind of have some of the offices that are the same size as mine. However, I didn't want to have to pay like a huge jump in the price just to stay up here. I didn't think it was worth it. of the YouTubers that I tend to follow are long-time YouTubers. They vlog maybe intermittently now, but when they first started off, they vlogged like every single day. And one of them, Casey Neistat, who I'm a big fan of, he talked about how when he first started, he would get like a little traction, a little bit of subscribers, but he didn't really take off with his subscriber count until he started vlogging every day. And when he vlogged every day for like a year straight, that's when he really saw traction. So, I know that. I mean, I have like 8 subscribers right now, I think, on this YouTube channel. And I don't expect it to really climb rapidly at any point in the near future. And that's not really even why I'm doing it, is for the subscriber count, because that's one of the things they say you should completely try to avoid looking at. But if you're watching this, press that subscribe button for me. Give me some extra motivation. But today, like I said before, we're going to cover load securement for Texas trucks. So I'm going to go ahead and get on that as far as writing this up on the board. A lot of these Texas subjects are going to be much shorter vlogs because the content is not, I'm not going to say it's not as deep, but I've already kind of covered some of the surrounding material because I've covered the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Regulations. So at this point, I'm going to just kind of focus on giving you a little brief snippet right now as I dive deeper into the actual Texas law and into the Green Book. Because I think one thing that I'm going to start doing is I'm going to go out of my way to make sure that I learn some new editing technique, at least on a Saturday or a Sunday. So tomorrow morning I may get up, or tonight when I go home, if I have enough time, I'll probably sit down and look at how to, shoot another little, like a J cut, or L cut, or something, some new shot to give my vlog a bit more variety, because I really need to learn how to use audible beat detection. Yeah, so man, I'm exhausted. Only person here, looks like, and I think the Raiders just started Hard Knock Life, man. That's got to be pretty entertaining. I wonder what the record is going to be this year. The defense should be much more improved. I'm banking on that. The Texans are going to play the Raiders here in town in Houston, so I'm going to try to get some tickets for that maybe. I think that's going to be a pretty entertaining game, It's interesting, too, not to really, talk religion and all that, because I know everybody has their own thing. But it's interesting to note that Derek Carr is a pretty fervent Christian, and Deshaun Watson was just in the news the other day for being in Israel, for, I guess, getting baptized in the Jordan River. So it's pretty interesting stuff. But I'm gonna head home now and probably edit this video and not do very much else, because I don't have that much film for today. Like I said, it was just really me moving back and forth. I thought about like shooting some video showing me moving stuff back and forth, but I don't think that would be pretty entertaining. So what's going on? It's the Big Rig Bull Texas Truck Accent Lawyer Reshard Alexander, back again for episode 27. I gotta tell you, I'm pretty exhausted right now, but I made a promise to myself that I'm gonna do these vlogs for at least 6 months straight, and I'm gonna do it. So today we're gonna talk about Texas load securement as it relates to commercial motor vehicles. Now, if you want to backtrack or rewind a bit, we have already talked about cargo securement. And I believe that we talked about the fact that cargo securement in the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Regulations is covered by 393. Well, like I told you before on one of the previous vlogs, Texas has adopted a great deal of the federal motor carrier safety regulations as its own bread and butter state law. Okay, well, since we've adopted that, we've adopted 393 when it relates to load securement and projecting loads and loose loads. So we're not really going to go into loose loads today. Suffice it to say that if you have a load that you're transporting as a truck driver, commercial motor vehicle, or a motor carrier owner operator, that load is supposed to be secured. You already know that. You're not supposed to have any cracks or any crevices from which cargo can escape through the bottom of the trailer. And there's an exception to most of to the loose load laws as it relates to Texas for vehicles that are moving between construction zones that are doing some type of public works job. So, but for the most part, for most trucks that you're going to see on Highway 290, out Interstate 10, wherever you are in the state of Texas, most of those are going to fall under the commercial motor vehicle law still as far as cargo securement. For the state of Texas, if it's intrastate or if it's interstate, it's going to fall under the federal motor carrier safety regulations. So let's go over this very quickly because it's not that much information. We've already talked about the fact that a commercial motor vehicle is a vehicle or a combination of vehicles with an actual gross weight or a gross weight rating or a registered gross weight in excess of 26,000 pounds or more. It has to be operating interstate or intrastate. It's any vehicle transporting hazardous materials that requires placarding. We've already talked about that, so you already know that. That is the adopted statute for Texas as well. So when it comes to projecting loads, we're talking about 393.87. When we're talking about projecting loads, what we're talking about is the cargo or the load is projecting away from the commercial motor vehicle itself. So it's extending beyond the actual confines of the truck or trailer. It is now, it may be one of these trucks that you see that has a wide load yellow sign on the front of it, and it's going down the highway. It has a cop or somebody usually in the front of it or something like that. That's generally what we're talking about, but that's not always the case because those trucks that are moving down the road with extended or projected loads do not always have, they do not always have police accompanying them, and they're not always that big. So we're just going to talk about that very briefly. So when it comes to projecting loads, and like I said before, you can find this in 393.87, the load extends to the rear 4 feet or more beyond the bed or body of the vehicle. So that's when this is going to kick in. If you see a load that something that's sticking out 4 feet beyond the rear, it's going to kick in, okay? Now, at this situation, in this type of situation, this commercial motor vehicle must display at the extreme rear of the load when lighted lamps are required, so pretty much at night. 2 red lamps visible from a distance of at least 500 feet to the rear. 2 red reflectors visible at night from all distances within 600 feet to 100 feet to the rear when directly in front of a lawful lower beams of headlights and located to indicate maximum width. And on each side, 1 red lamp visible from a distance of at least 500 feet to the side and located to indicate maximum overhang. Now, this is for, like I said, basically nighttime driving for the most part, because you're not going to need, red lamps in the daytime. Nobody's really going to need to be able to see that. But however, when you are talking about daytime driving with projected loads, at all other times, any load that extends beyond the sides or 4 feet beyond the rear must have the extreme points marked with a red flag that's square and that's no less than 12 inches. So even if you see them on the road, you're usually going to see, like I see it all the time, but when you see these trucks going down the street, they have wide overloads and they're going down the highway and they have these red flags marking the longest point out the point of the cargo that projects the furthest out is being marked with a red flag. Like I said, that's a red flag that's a square and it's no less than 12 inches. So this pretty much wraps up today, because as I said before, these Texas subjects are going to be a lot shorter and to the point when I deal with this type of stuff. So I hope you enjoyed this. If it was informational, if it was helpful, educational to you, please let me know. Feel free to hit the red subscribe button so you can follow along and you'll know when I post a new vlog. And as always, this is the Big Rig Bull. Hoping you have a blessed day.
This world